course, tonight at BMO, it's the 8-4 Stampeders against the 2-9 Argonauts on the final Friday night of the summer.
And leading the Calgary Stampeders, of course, Bo Levi Mitchell making his 4th consecutive start since his return. Unbeaten since coming back from injury. Unbeaten for his career against the Toronto Argonauts. And looking to put an end to that streak, McLeod Bethel Thompson, one of the hottest hands in the Canadian Football League. There you see it, the most passing yards in the league since week 4. He's been over 300 in his last 3, over 400 twice in those last 3 games.
Corey Chamberlain's Argos come off the bye after their first road win in 2 years. 2 weeks ago in Ottawa, looking for their first win streak of the season. And there's Dave Dickinson, who brings an injury-depleted lineup east in search of his 50th career win as the head coach. And the Stamps trying to win their 4th consecutive game. Calgary's won 11 in a row against Toronto, 6 straight here in the Big Smoke. And these two teams played in Calgary back in mid-July, 26-16 for the Stampeders in that game. Chris Rainey back. Argos win the toss, and they'll get their hands on the football first. Rainey, little stutter step there, and he gets nailed. Fraser Sopik, the rookie from these parts, comes downfield to make an early special teams tackle. And here comes McLeod Bethel Thompson, 1,212 yards passing in his last 3 starts.
Yeah, it's been absolutely terrific. He had a great run going, avoiding those interceptions, threw 2 in the win against Ottawa, but topped it with 3 touchdown passes as well.
343 yards passing against the Stampeders back in July. See if the Argos can pick up where they left off against Ottawa 2 weeks ago. Little pump and go. Looking downfield and overshoots Darrell Walker, working against the outstanding corner of the Stampeders, Trey Roberson.
Well, this will be a tremendous matchup up to that boundary side for much of the evening. Walker's going to give him a little stop and go here, knowing that Roberson, the ball hawk, might be looking to jump that route. Got in behind him, but just slightly overthrown. We'll keep an eye on that rather dynamic duo all night.
Walker 4th in the league in receiving, coming in at 897 yards, 2nd and 10. 4-man rush, time, underneath it goes. And it's Wilder stopped at the 31. And he'll be short of the first down. A 2-0 to start for the Argos on offense.
A limited opportunity there for Bethel Thompson to push that one beyond the sticks. Great downfield coverage by the Calgary Stampeder secondary.
So Terry Williams drops back. Ronnie Peffer to punt. Williams 2nd in all-purpose yards in the league. Only Chris Rainey with more. From the 27. Williams looking for a crease, but doesn't get one. Good downfield cover by the Argos. And Calgary will scrimmage at their 30-yard line, led by Bo Levi Mitchell, making his 4th consecutive start. As the guys mentioned, a perfect 10-0 against Toronto.
On one of the keys for the Calgary Stampeders since the return of Bo Levi Mitchell, and I'm sure for them as they look down the stretch with Bo Levi Mitchell, this is a team that has not allowed a sack since Mitchell's return. They want to keep him clean, keep him upright, avoid any unnecessary contact on their quarterback, as they know that their hopes rest on his right shoulder.
Hamilton back in 2004, the last team to not allow a sack in 4 consecutive games. Fake to Kadeem Carey. There's Eric Rogers, the only experienced receiver in this offensive attack for the Stamps tonight.
I'll take a look at the starting lineup for these Calgary Stampeders. As you mentioned, Rogers, the only experienced guy, only guy in the lineup for Calgary tonight who has caught a touchdown pass this season. Along the offensive line, again, this group will be challenged. Their regular starting center, Yacumbre Williams, he was out last week with an injury. He returns at left tackle. Derek Dennis bumps from left to right. We'll see how that affects the continuity of this group.
Neil Kazadati out tonight. short yardage, 2nd and 2. And Arbuckle to plunge ahead, and with the second effort, should have the first down, but there is a flag on the play.
Offside. Toronto. It's a 5-yard penalty. Makes it first down.
So it is a Calgary first down on the offside penalty. Both back in, and here are the numbers against Toronto in his 8-year career.
Well, he kept the perfect record intact last week with some thanks to Trey Roberson against Hamilton last week. So it's that Southern Ontario dominance for Bo Levi Mitchell.
12-0 against the Ticats, 10-0, and a screenplay here, but stopped by Bear Woods. Takes down Terry Williams behind the line of scrimmage.
Oh, what a difference the presence of Bear Woods has made for the Toronto Argonauts. Came on in the second half last week. As we find, there he is on the left side, stacked over that guard. Watch the pursuit here. Going sideline to sideline. Bear playing a little bit lighter than he has in the past.
126 tackles for Woods back in 2016. 2nd and long. Mitchell crosser, and almost intercepted off the fingertips of Alden Darby, intended for Eric Rogers, and the Calgary punt team will come on.
Well, seemed to be one of the few footballs that the long arms of Eric Rogers couldn't reach. This one sails. Darby sort of in the top right corner of your screen, coming down to help out on that route. Just unable to adjust as that one was deflected by the intended receiver.
So Rob Maber launches it. Chris Rainey at his 17-yard line. Changes direction and winds his way up around the 28 for an 11-yard return. No blood drawn on the first possessions of the game. Just underway between the Calgary Stampeders and the Toronto Argonauts from BMO. Most of the year, only 39 points in the opening quarter, but they have scored 21 first quarter points in their last 2 starts. And it's Wilder into the teeth of that Calgary defense. Let's set the Argo offense for you.
Well, taking a look at this receiving group, of course, experienced crew. Darrell Walker, the leader of that group, top receiver, favorite target. Being targeted 25 times in his last 2 games by quarterback McLeod Bethel Thompson. On the offensive line, former Stampeder Randy Richards draws back in. The veteran solidifying that left tackle spot.
2nd and 7. Bethel Thompson in some trouble. Wrapped up and tossed down. It'll be Mike Rose with his 4th sack of the year.
There you see Mike Rose lined up at that defensive tackle spot, strong side. Good push, good pursuit and reaction as Bethel Thompson looks to scramble.
That's one.
2nd consecutive 2 and out. Pressure coming, and Pepper just got it away. Bounces down to the 42, and Williams got to eat it there. Had some trouble with it. So some difficulty at both ends of the punt. But Pepper gets it away, and Williams able to secure it. Sopek's got a block punt this year. Nearly had another. There's our referee, Tim Croker, wearing the ref cam tonight, and he'll give you a close-up look at some of the action in the backfield.
Yeah, he's the guy responsible for officiating what goes on with the quarterback and in that pocket. Had a close-up look as Mike Rose got to Argo quarterback McLeod Bethel Thompson.
Well, that's the ref view tonight, and we're gonna need some help for Jonathan Moxey, who has been down, was being helped to the sidelines, and has had to go back down again around midfield. So some concern on the Stampeder bench for one of their special teams guys and the first response unit out to help with the athletic therapists.
Yeah, Moxey, backup DB, part of that great young group of DBs here in Calgary. Just got dinged as he came down covering the last, looking to block on that last punt return.
Take a look at what happened to him as they will now carry him off. Well, that was a little earlier, and he wanted to stop right there.
Yeah. You know, looking at his eyes, he certainly looked like he was in some distress there as he went down. Good to see Jonathan Moxey make his way back to the sidelines at least.
Matthew Schnetti is down there. We'll try and get an update on Jonathan Moxey. There's Mitchell to throw. Underneath it goes. The catch made by Colton Hunchak, who had a big game on Labor Day, and again counting on some of these young receivers to step up in the breach here tonight.
We're just going to take a look back at the injury to Jonathan Moxey. As you can see, number 27 is set up here, looking to block for Terry Williams on the return, and just got buckled.
Run over by Frank Beltre.
So many bodies moving in different directions at high speed. Special teams can be a very dangerous place.
7 for Hunchak, 2nd and 3. Quick hitter's caught. And there is big Aaron Peck, who makes his Calgary Stampeder debut tonight. A flag comes down at the end of the play. Peck in the preseason played 1 game, 3 catches and a touchdown against the BC Lions.
Major foul, horse collar tackle. Toronto number 21. 15 yards at the end of the play, and an automatic first down.
Kadarius Ford called for the horse collar tackle.
You get a look, good protection for Mitchell. Peck on the board, and here you'll see Ford. Here was actually Abdul Kenna who grabbed the back of those shoulder pads. Ford was on his way in to help out.
Hand on the collar. So Peck with a first down catch and 15 yards added on. Mitchell again right over the middle. Pass caught by Hunchak and wrapped up, tossed down by Bear Woods at the heart of that Argo defense.
We'll take a look at the Toronto Argonaut defense. Cleon Lang, as always, the guy who leads the way from his defensive tackle spot. Kenan Gilchrist, by the way, a late replacement for Robbie Smith at DN. Bear Woods, the catalyst. Coach Corey Chamberlain refers to him as the glue of this team. Good to have the veteran back. And Calgary native Rob Woodson, former U of C Dino, gets to start at the field corner spot. He's done a nice job whenever pressed into action, whether it's safety or corner this season.
10 takeaways in their last 2 starts. 2nd and short, and they toss here to the edge for Terry Williams. Williams down the sideline. Touchdown! Terry Williams takes the pitch from Nick Arbuckle and runs it in for the touchdown.
Well, great execution and taking advantage of the personnel you have in the game. You know the speed of Terry Williams from what he does in that return game. You create some misdirection to allow one of the fastest guys on the field to get a head start towards that bounder, and he just outruns angles on everybody.
Dwayne, they called that play on 2nd and 2 last week and lost yardage on it. Went back to the well. It was executed better tonight.
Yeah, cleaned it up a little bit this week.
First rushing touchdown of the year for Williams. Caps a 4-play, 68-yard touchdown drive.
They got that Argo defense to flow hard with the original fake. Going to the left. He just scooted Williams out the backside.
David Brown injured on the play and slowly makes his way to the Calgary sideline.
This is a Calgary team that, by the way, has dressed only 6 offensive linemen. Brown out of Western, the backup here tonight.
Boy, you're starting early tonight.
Listen, I know who I'm in the booth with.
There it is. Adds the convert. 21 of 21 in that department this year. Stampeders strike first. It's a 24-yard rush for a touchdown for Terry Williams. Stamps off and running. Well, since being shut out against the Edmonton Eskimos, it's been a complete turnaround for McLeod Bethel Thompson. The numbers in his last 5 starts, pretty impressive. With the reason for the turnaround, here's Matthew Shinetti on the sidelines.
Well, CC, McLeod Bethel Thompson is philosophical. Maybe we'll call him Shakespearean. And you mentioned that game against Edmonton. Well, McLeod Bethel Thompson told us it was his football death. And what he means by that is everything afterwards had to change because he felt he was being a quarterback for somebody else, doing things the way other people wanted him to do it. And he felt he had to be more aggressive. We see that in his run game. He felt he had to trust his instincts. Maybe we see that in his 12 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, but maybe most we see it in his confidence. So we asked him this week with the Argos at 2-9, what the next 7 games have to look like. He said simply, we're going to win every single game. CC?
We're here, Hernandez!
Well, it's been a slow start tonight, but again, spectacular numbers offensively the last 5 games.
Well, Bethel Thompson has some second half magic on his resume over the course of the last couple of seasons.
Here's Rainey. Hawley slows him up and up across the 35.
We'll take a look back a couple of weeks. The Argos' last outing. Big win over the Ottawa Redblacks. McLeod Bethel Thompson, 411 yards passing, 3 touchdown strikes in that ball game. The Argos really kind of ran away with that one in the second half of the ball game. Again, over 400 yards twice in his last 3 games.
Averaging 320 over those last 5, but only 3 yards so far on offense in the first 2 possessions. Now that one nearly intercepted off the hands of Raheem Wilson, one of those ball hawks in the Calgary secondary.
Yes, sir. As we take a look at that defensive line, Cordero Law certainly leading this defense. 8 sacks for him on the season. Nobody else came into this game with more than 3. Corey Greenwood out of the lineup at linebacker. Nate Hawley, very productive player, comes in at the weak side spot as Winton McManus moves into the middle. And Brampton's Royce Mechie, former Guelph Griffin, makes the start at free safety. He's had a terrific sophomore season for the Stamps.
There you go. There's a completion for Bethel Thompson, and it's going to be about 1.5 yards short of the first down. Catch made by Darrell Walker. Ball marked at the 45. They've got to get just beyond the 46.
The punt team is coming out on the field.
Third down and a yard and a bit, but they're not going to take any chances.
And you wonder, knowing who's coaching on the other side, Dave Dickinson, and his propensity to play for field position. And we've had a lot of conversations from the booth in recent weeks about the importance of starting field position in terms of the outcome of games this season. I suspect that's on Corey Chamberlain's mind.
Good boot. Driving Williams back inside the 10. And he's cut down by Ian Wild at the 20-yard line. Good cover after a 56-yard punt by Pepper. And the football as we approach the 10-minute mark here in Toronto. Important game for Dave Dickinson's crew in that 3-way race for first place in the West. Eskimos might argue it's a four-way race for first.
Yeah, they've got some ground to make up in Edmonton, but a lot of head-to-head games, intra-divisional matchups down the stretch.
Starting at the 20, wide side throw. Herji Mayala has the catch. Up around the 27, a pickup of 7.
Taking a look back at the Stampeders' last possession, which Bo Levi Mitchell did a nice job spreading it around. Colton Hutchak in the lineup, Aaron Peck as well drawing in this week, both getting a chance to contribute early on as they march down the field, and then from the short yardage set, Nick Arbuckle on that counter toss to Terry Williams. Great block by Josh Huff, allowing the running back to sneak in.
And Kadeem Carey straight ahead. That'll be a first down up at the 33. Mitchell, by the way, 6 completions so far to 5 different receivers. So if you don't have Reggie Bagleton and Juwan Breskeson and a lot of other guys in the
list
lineup,
goes on.
Share the wealth.
Yeah, you think about really the number of receivers that the Calgary Stampeders have gone through due to injury, free agent departures, and so on over the course of the last 2 or 3 seasons. The consistency of their offense is remarkable.
Again, collision there. Tremaine Washington goes low to make the tackle. Markeith Amble's also out of the lineup. Richie Sindani.
You've got to like that secondary support coming from Tremaine Washington, top right corner of your screen. As soon as he recognizes that we're getting run, he's jumping up in that box. Notice the leverage. Outside in, forced to play inside. Keeping contained. Steps in to make that tackle on a hard-running Steve Carey.
Carey had 65 yards in the first game against Toronto. Mitchell's going to take a shot here. He's got Huff. Catch. In and out of the hands of Josh Huff, who had a step. And that's on him.
Well, perfectly placed football from Mitchell. It just fell right into the arms of Josh Huff, who didn't break stride. Clean pocket again for the Calgary quarterback. He just lays it up there as Huff got in behind Kadarius Ford. Unable to make the grab there. Be a punt situation for Calgary.
Favorite punts. Big game for Chris Rainey. He can pass Chad Owens on the all-time kick return list in this game. Forced out around the Calgary bench. At around the 42-yard line, it's Ricky Ray night tonight at Commonwealth. Friday Night Football continues with the second half of our doubleheader, Ticats and Eskimos. And we'll have it for you right after this game is done. Ticats trying to win one of the 2 in Alberta after a hard-fought loss last week, a game they thought they had on the foot of Fliram Hairolahu at the end of the game, but Trey Roberson had other ideas.
Yeah, the big leap by Trey Roberson. He was the difference last week. An interception at the end of the first half. They kind of turned that game around, and then the blocked field goal to wrap things up.
Penalty on the kick return, and Argos backed up to their 22. Pass intended for Wilder. Nate Hawley getting the start at the weak side linebacker spot.
Well, Trey Roberson has had a tremendous 2019 season. One of the highlights for him, no doubt, this blocked field goal against the Hamilton Tiger Cats last week. Hamilton looking for the walk-off win. Roberson got the walk-off block.
Down to go.
He's done it all this year, hasn't he? 7th interception in that game. Second down at Walker, and there's the initial first down for the Argos on a connection to Darrell Walker.
Walker does a nice job here working back to his quarterback out of his break. He's going to line up in the slot. This time, again, so many people see Darrell Walker as a guy who's primarily a deep threat.
Throwing, look out. He made the catch. Did he get a foot down? And they're ruling it is an interception, the second of the year for the safety. Brampton native Royce Mechie.
You say that with such pride. I'll tell you what, this is a young man. The defensive backs coach, Joshua Bell, says, I've never seen a guy improve so much over the course of his first season in the league, referring to Mechie's progress through last year. Comes in this year as a starter and has certainly lived up to expectations.
Boy,
just
look at the way he straddled the line.
Take a look at that right foot. Thin stripe of green between the shoe and the white.
That's the league-leading 20th interception on the season for the Stampeders. They had 7 takeaways against the Argos in the first meeting. So Stamps take over at their own 52. Big to carry. It's Rogers with the catch. And Eric Rogers gets away. And finally dropped from behind by Kenan Gilchrist, but a big play to Eric Rogers.
Well, let's take a look from Bo Levi Mitchell's perspective here. Remember, we talked about the job the Calgary Stampeders have been doing in protection. Again, terrific, no rush, no pressure for Bo Levi Mitchell. He just waits for the big target to come across the middle and delivers the strike. Eric Rogers does the rest, adding to his yak yard total.
Yeah, 35-yard connection. Rogers 10th in the league coming in. And the league leader in touchdown receptions with 8. First down Calgary. Big to carry. Open target. And Hunchak's got another catch. I don't like the term, but Mr. Irrelevant is the one you get if you're the last player drafted, but he's been anything but. Terrific Labor Day, and Hunchak off to a good start here tonight.
Yeah, he certainly is. And, you know, we give a lot of credit to Bo Levi Mitchell. He's had a lot of different receivers rolling in and out of the lineup, but, you know, as long as those guys are prepared to play, he has no hesitation to get them the football. Mitchell seems to round a little bit closer to the form we're used to with every outing.
I was going to say, this looks like the best we've seen from him. He's got Carey out of the backfield. It's a Calgary touchdown. So points off the turnover. Kadeem Carey has a touchdown catch.
That offense continues to operate with great precision. Carey with a free release out to the right. Quick shot. Again, defenders caught on the inside. Stampeders just taking advantage of that edge they have in formation right off the bat in alignment.
First touchdown catch for Kadeem Carey. Paredes the convert, and it's a 2-touchdown lead at the end of the opening quarter for the Stampeders. Well, it was advertised as an undermanned Calgary Stampeder team coming in tonight, but looks like the same old Stamps here, especially in a matchup against Toronto.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that anybody has done next man up better than the Calgary Stampeders over the course of the last couple seasons, particularly when you look on the offensive side of the ball for them. They're making some changes on the offensive line due to injuries, have guys playing in new positions. You've got seemingly new receivers in the lineup every week. Bo Levi Mitchell just in his 4th game coming back from injury, but it seems like no matter which 12 guys you roll out there, the production, the consistency is there.
I'll just tell them kind of get
A lot of different guys having an impact.
10, 12, yeah. And it could have been a handoff, but I knew I had a better play.
6 different receivers and a surgical start for Bo Levi Mitchell. Curly Gittins back along with Chris Rainey. This looked like a team with a little rust after the bye. It'll be Gittins on the return. Trying to get outside and does, but a flag comes down as he has dropped the rookie at the 39-yard line. Gittins out of Laurier. but a holding call will.
During the return, holding Toronto number 73. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Christian Hernandez called on the hold.
And you take a look at the tale of the turnovers this season. The Calgary Stampeders are a team that, simply put, you make mistakes, you turn over the ball, they're going to make you pay for it.
They're first, Argos are last. Over the middle, pass caught around the 21-yard line. And S.J. Green has his first reception of the night.
Well, there's Winton McManus. Again, shifted partway through last game, moved from his usual weak side linebacker spot into the middle with Corey Greenwood banged up.
I need that.
Green has 6, second and 4. Four-man rush, they push the pocket and get home. Bethel Thompson dropped for the second time. And this time it's Chris Kasher chalking up the sack, his 4th of the year.
Well, Chris Kasher was a guy that the Stampeders were happy to get back into the lineup last week. So they feel he provides a good bookend, their best pass rush option opposite Cordero Law at defensive end.
We can't block him.
So the Argos with just a single first down on the opening 5 possessions. Williams at the 50, skips away, breaks one tackle and is sliced down at midfield. Matthew Boateng the tackle, but the Stampeders will start on the Argos side of half, and now Terry Williams is slow to get up.
He looks like he'll try to shake that one off. Stamps have had so many injuries this season at the running back position. Don Jackson, Lamar Morris.
Holding, Toronto number 94. Penalties declined. First down, Calgary.
Stamps like their field position, so they don't take the re-kick. And they'll start at the Toronto 54. 6 different receivers for Mitchell. He's 9 of 11 out of the gate here tonight. Quickly out of his hands, and Huff's got that catch. Bumped out by Kadarius Ford. So Huff makes it 7 different receivers, and we're just early second quarter.
Well, nice protection here on the 3-step drop for Williams. 30 pro, we're going cut. Get all the hands down. So watch the work of the offensive lineman here. Everybody is just going to cut the man in front of them, get their hands down. Give Bo Levi Mitchell a clear lane. You know that when the ball is going to be out early, you can go for that cut block because the ball's going to be gone by the time that guy gets up. But the pass rusher gets up.
11-yard connection straight to the left side, and they run the jet to Huff. He'll cut it back into traffic and dropped at the 35, so 7 on the ground for Josh Huff. Charlie Power was starting fullback tonight. Will check into the Calgary offense on 2nd and 3.
You know, you can never go wrong getting the fullback in the game, CC.
That's why it was duly noted. Good look at the veteran out of Saskatchewan. And the handoff. Stuffed at the 35-yard line and driven back Justin Thomas. Bear Woods, and the field goal unit has to come on.
And the Stampeders looking to bring the tackle to kick out here. The Argonauts held strong at the point of attack.
There's Paredes from 42 yards out. It was a 42-yard attempt blocked by Roberson, but this one up and through, and Calgary's built a 17-0 lead before the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. Prior to the game, John Hufnagel saluting some of the Calgary fans that have made the trip here for the game. And with the victory here tonight by Calgary and an Ottawa loss tomorrow, John Hufnagel Stampeders will claim their 15th consecutive playoff appearance. And his fingerprints all over that.
No question of that.
Bethel Thompson rolls, fires, and got a completion. Armonte Edwards has his first catch of the night. Argo first down.
Take a look. Armonte Edwards lines up out wide, quads to the field, 4 receivers. Uses that speed to drive his defender off and then works back to the football.
Mentioned Calgary's dominance of the Argos. 8 straight wins by double-digit totals, and they've got a double-digit lead early here tonight. And Darrell Walker corralled behind the line of scrimmage by Deshaun Amos. Be a loss of, it's like 1. They'll give Walker the 49-yard line.
We talk about the domination head-to-head of the Calgary Stampeders in this matchup. Again, Bo Levi Mitchell has never lost to the Toronto Argonauts. 11 straight wins for the Stampeders. And the average margin of victory over 2 scores.
2nd and 11. Here comes Heat. They'll screen it. Declan Cross brought down. Trey Roberson makes another play. And the punt team has to come on. Does more than just create turnovers with interceptions. Nice play here by Roberson.
Yeah, it certainly was, as you'll see the pressure that forces McLeod Bethel Thompson to get rid of that in a hurry. Big Mike Rose in his face. Roberson certainly the leader of the group, but an impressive collection of young DBs.
Great kick by Peffer. This one bouncing down inside the 5-yard line, and Corey Williams dropped just beyond the 10. Frank Beltre got down there first. Calgary in control early. Tight race for first. That game against Saskatchewan, the next home game, will be enormous.
Well, the playoff race has begun early in Western Canada.
First down back at the 11-yard line. It's intercepted. Picked off by Gilchrist. And he bounced off his own teammate, gets up and then gets flattened, but the Argos needed that. They get a turnover, and they've gotten the ball inside the Calgary 10-yard line.
Well, Gilchrist looked as shocked as anyone in the building when this ball hit him in the hands. Defensive lineman is going to start peeling back to drop in coverage. Again, Gilchrist getting the start tonight as Robbie Smith was a late scratch. Shows rush and then redirects to get underneath Hergy Mayala and pick that one off. Giving the Toronto Argonauts a great opportunity here.
Well, you saw the board, just the 4th interception that Bo Levi Mitchell's ever thrown against the Argos. First and goal from the 9. Pressure coming. And it will be 2nd down back at the 25-yard line.
So much for that field position.
Wynton McManus, Mike Rose, and 3 Stampeders all over McLeod Bethel Thompson.
Well, Mike Rose is a guy about whom his line mate Cordero Law said earlier in the season, this guy's going to be an all-star one day. Quick swim. And away he goes.
Second down. Open in the flat, Wilder. The 5 with a great leap. And now it's 3rd and goal from the 3.
Oh, high percentage play, free release to the flat from the running back Wilder. You see he's got plenty of room to roam in that long yardage situation. The Stampeder defense is sitting back.
Got a good spot. They marked it at the 2. And it looked like they were going to go for it. Now at the last minute, Corey Chamberlain will change his mind. And I think the conventional wisdom here is you got to come away with something, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, full 2 yards here.
In the second half, might be automatic to go, and there are probably fans at home yelling it should be automatic to go, but they want to get points on the board here. Rapina in from 9 yards out, unless something's on. Up and good. Argos are on the board, but some of the fans wanted more. James Wilder Jr. with his athleticism made it a tough decision for Corey Chamberlain. Look at JC Sherritt, Dave Dickinson, and JC helping out with 6-on-6 football with more on the minor football those two guys are coaching. Here's Matthew Shinetti.
Yeah, CC, they have so much going on right now, but Dave Dickinson and J.C. Sherritt have put together a 6-on-6 football league in southern Alberta because Dave Dickinson's son and other youth football players weren't getting enough playing time. So here is 6-on-6 football, Dickinson style. You play the width of the field. The 6 players on the field will play multiple positions, and all 6 on offense are eligible receivers. And then, of course, the first game, the teams that they were playing had days and days to prepare, but J.C. Sherritt and Dave Dickinson only had a pregame walkthrough. They only lost by 6, 27-21. But Dave Dickinson, you know, guys, was really annoyed.
I was going to say, he lost. I know the coach in the booth is coaching 9-man football this year. Return up to the 30-yard line.
I suspect there may be a friendly wager when the Port Credit Warriors take on the Brampton Centennial Bucks in Ropson 9-man football action this season. I'll let you know.
Do something.
I'll let you know.
Okay. But 6-on-6, I think it's a great concept. It's controversial in hockey when they shrink the size of the ice, but it gets more kids involved, gets more touches.
Yeah.
Football. Handling the puck.
Yeah, and varied skills and so on, letting everybody get a little bit of a flavor of everything. And kudos to Dave Dickinson and J.C. Sherritt. I know Dave has always kept his hand in the grassroots of the game in Alberta.
Back to the air, back to Hunchak, and he's got a catch in front of Woodson. And another good
Colton Hunchak, in fact, a guy that used to attend Dave Dickinson's quarterback camps as a high schooler growing up in the Calgary area. Take a look once again. Great job by Kembre Williams. Again, usually the Stampeder center at left tackle tonight.
Rogers a catch. Brought down by Kenna. Close to a first down. Hunchak, by the way, has 4 catches already to lead the Stampeders. And now Rogers with his 3rd reception.
Well, it'll be interesting to see Bo Levi Mitchell coming down the stretch. Again, this is, you sort of feel for the Stampeders opponents a little bit, knowing that they're getting Bo Levi Mitchell in the second half of the season, but having avoided half a season of wear and tear, half a season of hits.
Well, he started slow last week against Hamilton. That has not been the case here tonight. Another completion. Catch by Peck with Bear Woods on the scene. Aaron Peck has his 2nd catch in the CFL. See his numbers at Fresno State. Guy that has the tight end build slimmed down for what originally was listed at 249.
Yeah, played at about 2 1/4 in university, and as he went to the Green Bay Packers camp, tried to make the conversion to tight end, so beefed up a little bit.
Second and 3. He's swinging out here. And Peck is going to get stopped short. Holding his ground on the corner with Jonathan Dowling. Tough guy to bring down in open space.
Yeah, Dowling certainly giving something up in size, but makes up for it. Technique here, breaks down, drives the shoulder into the thighs, wraps up, pulls him down. Big play for the Argo D.
Well, Neighbor with the chance to pin the Argos. The former Turner Fenton Trojan looking for the corner. Flag comes down as Rainey fielded that just outside the 10-yard line and is dropped at the 13. Flag back in the Calgary backfield.
Holding, Toronto, number 99. Back half the distance to goal, first down.
John Harrington flagged for the hold, so Argos in a deep hole once again. To look at the Shane Bergman fan club and a fireman's helmet, which is appropriate because that's what's given to the special team star. And you know who it was last week, Trey Roberson, after his blocked field goal. And look at the response from his teammates.
Yeah, fantastic. Emotional win for the Calgary Stampeders at home again after Hamilton had things all set up for looking for the walk-off field goal and the victory.
Boy, did he put out a fire. Argos start deep, and it's James Wilder with a big run to get him out of the shadow of their goalpost. Just his second rush of the game. And a good first down burst from James Wilder.
It would mean so much to the Toronto Argonauts to be able to get this guy going. Nice work by the offensive line center, Sean McEwen, securing the line of scrimmage and then up to second level.
James Wilder with 3 touchdowns last week, 2 receiving, and that pass is caught at the 25. Armani Edwards the grab as we hit the 3-minute warning. Argos with the football, but they've got some work to do, trailing 17-3. Thank you, Rod. Back here, 2nd and 5 for the Argos at the 25-yard line. Calgary sending pressure, and that almost intercepted in and out of the hands of Nate Hawley.
Hawley once again making the start at the weak side linebacker spot tonight. This guy has been terrific for the Stampeders. Former college DB, playing linebacker here at the CFL level. Great speed. Been a monster on special teams.
A great kick by Pepper. And Williams lost his footing. Ball bouncing around. It'll be a 5-yard, no yards. But Williams fortunate that that one didn't deflect off him. But, man, that one almost brought rain from Ronnie Pepper.
It's a little bit like Jose Canseco trying to field that one.
Not a replay he's going to want to watch, I don't think. 5-yard, no yards penalty marks it at the 42. Playing center field. Whoops.
Well, just blew a tire there. Lucky that one didn't hit him.
Almost hit his right foot. Would have been live. Ante Milanovic leader got on it, and Argos charged with a 5-yard, no yards. Terry Williams a rushing touchdown. Kadeem Carey a receiving touchdown. 17-3. And Mitchell loading it up for Eric Rogers. Incomplete as he tried to come back to the football. Safety Alden Darby there.
Yeah, Mitchell had some options underneath, but saw Eric Rogers in behind coverage. Just came up a little bit short on that one.
Just the 4th incompletion of the night. 15 of 19 for number 19. There's big Sheen Bergman, the road grader out of Western, and Peter Wolf. And pressure on. And this time they do get Mitchell. Guys, we're asking about it. Jermaine Gabriel provides an answer for our panel as they do get pressure on Bo.
Yeah, having to get a little bit creative in terms of how they go about it. Jermaine Gabriel coming from the secondary. They try to give the Stampeders some different looks.
So the first sack allowed by Calgary since Mitchell returned, and that ends the streak at 3 games without a sack for the Stampeders. Favor the boot. On a deep kick, and Rainey. Well, he can't get loose initially. Maybe now. He does. And Chris Rainey made some positive yards when it looked like he was going to get dropped for a loss on that return. And the Argos have just under 2 minutes to salvage this first half.
Well, Chris Rainey is certainly on that list of guys in the league who can change the face of a game with his work in the return game.
Bubbled back 10 yards. Charlie Power with his 11th special team tackle. But the Argos will start at their 48. Underneath again. And good second effort by Armonte Edwards to break a couple tackles. And he'll get the Argos into Calgary territory at the Stamp 54.
Well, big possession here for the Toronto Argonauts as we're down under 2 minutes. They look to try and narrow that margin before the break and take a little momentum to the locker room with them.
2nd and 2. And Sterrell Walker behind the line of scrimmage going nowhere.
Yeah, the Stampeder defense was all over that. They'd have been probably best served for Bethel Thompson just to throw that one into the ground.
Well, here we are in the first half, late in the first half, and James Wilders carried the football twice. So it's 3rd down.
Yeah, tough to get them to buy on play action when you're not establishing the run first.
They're leaving them out here. They're going for it on 3rd and 5. They didn't go from the 2, 3rd and goal. And they're not going to get this. Pass behind Walker. And it's a turnover on a surprising gamble here on the Argos side of midfield.
Yeah, well, that's it. You look at the field position, a chance now with the amount of time left on the clock for Calgary to turn around and get points before the break. Just off the mark to Walker. I know Wilder was open in the flat to the other side as well.
Now Walker open, but Bethel Thompson missed the target, and it's a costly, or a potentially costly turnover.
But yeah, interesting, Chris. Again, like moments after they decide to kick a field goal, 3rd and goal at the 2-yard line, to take that gamble with that amount of time left on the clock.
I get, Hits go with that screen first, and a nice pass and run play for Terry Williams. If it had been an incomplete pass on 2nd down, 3rd and 2, you can make a case, I think, but they lost yards, and it's 3rd and 5, and now Calgary's got a chance to pad their lead.
Yeah, not necessarily a high percentage gamble.
Mitchell in time, got Mayala at the 30-yard line, Dowling the tackle, and a gain of 8.
A nice route combination over on that side with Hunchak clearing out. Mayala, the Stamps' first pick in the 2019 draft. Montreal native from the University of Connecticut, working underneath.
And now 6 of the 7 receivers have at least 2 catches. Going for the corner route, and Eric Rogers has another grab down around the 11. Tackled on the play by Rob Woodson.
Well, I alluded earlier to the length of Eric Rogers' arms. You combine that with his height, ability to get up in the air, just the way he goes after the ball.
15-yard connection. Down at the 5, a drop for Peck. And it will be 2nd and goal.
2.
Well, Argo D looking to limit the damage here.
See Calgary 5th in the red zone. Argo defense 6th. Calgary looking for a touchdown. Argo's looking for a stop. Crosser, that is low and incomplete, intended for Rogers. Kenna was there defensively. And the Stampeders field goal unit will come on. They'll get 3 off the missed gamble by Corey Chamberlain.
Well, mission accomplished. About as well as it could be for the Toronto Argonaut defense. That one in and out of the hands. The Stamps' second leading receiver. The top guy, Reggie Begelton, out of the lineup tonight.
Phil Paredes from 17. Up and good. And it's 20-3 Calgary. Argos do have just under a half-minute remaining before Ram at the half with Rod Mill, Hank, and Davis.
Hey, Robbie.
They might talk about that gamble on 3rd and 5.
I could see that being a point of discussion for the group.
Or is that in any way an explanation for what we've seen from the Argos in this first half?
Yeah, I'm not convinced that's the issue. They are coming off a bye, which...
Wilder in the flat. Brought down at the 41-yard line. A sure tackle there by Deshaun Amos.
You know, you would contend that the schedule has not necessarily been Argonaut friendly this season. Tough start, a lot of games on the road, particularly in the West early in the year. And then you look at the fact that when they've gotten wins and looks like they're trying to get momentum, they've had a bye after each of their victories.
Time ticking off here. They're 20 yards away from a field goal attempt. Wilder's got a first down. There's a flag in the backfield, and a holding call is going to bring this back. But they wasted some time there. And
holding, Toronto number 67. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Jamal Campbell, the right tackle, gets called on the hold, and now they'll just likely run out the clock. But no incompletion downfield to Darrell Walker. You might have got into field goal range.
Well, you take a look at the scoreboard and think back.
How about that? No penalty yardage against Calgary in the first half.
Impressive first half from that discipline point of view for Dave Dickinson's crew.
They rarely beat themselves. More heat, another sack, and it's Derek Wigan.
The Queen's product.
Gets into the act. Tough first half here for that Argo offensive line. 4th sack of the opening half, and all Calgary in the opening 30 minutes. 20-3 is the score as we head to Rod Smith and the guys. Back in Toronto, 20-3 as we get set for the second half. First to the sidelines, Matthew Shinetti with Corey Chamberlain.
Coach, I imagine one of the things things you're going to have to do in the second half is make sure this offense doesn't get in awkward third down situations. How crucial is it going to be to move the ball early on?
Well, like anything, first down, we got to be productive on first down, put ourselves in those second and short, second and medium type situations so we can convert. That's the biggest thing. Same thing on defense. We got to be effective on first down, get them to second and long. We got to stop taking the penalties on special teams. We got to find a way to get back in sync and get this thing turned around.
And Bo is spreading the ball around quite efficiently right now. How do you limit their offense?
Well, right now he's just quick gaming on first down, and he's spreading it, getting out of his hands, making sure that we don't get any pressure to him. We got to continue to do some things, sit back in a little zone, keep mixing in some man, and knocking those balls down.
Thanks for this.
All right, thank you.
First down production was an issue for Corey Chamberlain's crew. Just 48 yards on first down. Calgary 164. Big difference.
Yeah, just looking at an interesting note we got from Steve Daniels, CFL's lead statistician. But Toronto typically in second down needed 10 yards.
Josh Huff. Great return to start the second half. Well, you heard Corey Chamberlain talk about Bo Levi Mitchell quick gaming and spreading the football around in that first half.
Yes, certainly sharing the wealth, despite a number of his regular receivers being out of the lineup. The next guys have stepped up. You saw Colton Hunchak, Aaron Peck being targeted, of course. Old reliable Eric Rogers.
By the way, we're getting some Argo fans with feedback. We keep saying Bo hasn't lost to the Argos. That's regular season. We are aware of the 2017 Grey Cup. Here's a drop from Eric Rogers that you don't see often, and it will be 2nd and 10. And maybe a little miscommunication in the backfield.
Yeah, well, it seemed like it. Ante Milanovic-Leader, the man in the backfield, he aborted the fake as you saw Bo Levi Mitchell looking for a fake. Milanovic-Leader, if his blocking responsibility is coming, he's going to skip the fake altogether. So it's sort of a fake to nobody before the throw.
Well, they're in 2nd and long here. Flag comes down. They swing it out to Leader. He'll cut it back and gets stacked up too short of the first down. Let's check the flag. It'll be 3rd and 1 pending this penalty. Looks like it's an offside call against Calgary. So 3rd and 1 or 2nd and 15, likely to take the penalty. Well, there's also a face mask call against Toronto, so that's why.
Outside, Calgary number 4. Major foul, face mask. Toronto number 21. Up 10 yards, automatic first down.
So it is a first down. Kadarius Ford with the major penalty. And that's the first penalty against Calgary, but a costly exchange for Corey Chamberlain's crew.
Well, nonetheless, on 1st and 10, Calgary goes to a big team here. Let's take a quick look back at the penalty call against. There you see it was Kenan Gilchrist, it appeared, rather than Kadarius Ford with the face mask.
Well, first down, and it's Terry Williams with the carry into Argo territory. Looks like he's got 4 yards on the play.
Watch the work here of the center. Justin Lawrence is going to pull out of there in a hurry. Get on his guy with the kick out. Gets his man on the ground, allowing Terry Williams to turn it up inside. Lawrence making his 2nd consecutive start at center for the Stamps, University of Alberta product.
Matthew Shinetti reporting Kadeem Carey getting checked out on the sidelines. A pass for Mayala, comes back to the football and makes the first down catch.
Sergi Mayala, in a draft with a lot of good receivers, was seen as perhaps the most polished of the group. Real leader, productive player during his time at UConn.
Best game, 4 catches, 47 yards against Montreal, but looks like he's making the transition to this next level and becoming a bigger part of the Calgary offense. Pressure on Mitchell, got it away, and catch is made by Rogers, who tried to crawl his way down to the 35. And Mayala will check back into the offense.
Again, we started talking earlier just about the difference in terms of the positions that these teams had put themselves in on second downs to be able to make those second down conversions. Argos on second downs, on average, needed 10 yards. So when they hit second down, it was 2nd and 10. Calgary, by comparison, typically needed, on average, 4.7 yards, so less than 5 yards they needed to get second down conversions.
Second down here, and it's Mayala the catch. He'll get guided out of bounds by Rob Woodson, and see where they mark it. It'll be close to the first down. No, it's going to be 1.5 yards to 2 yards short. So 3rd down, and Nick Arbuckle is going to come on with the short yardage. Out along with David Brown to bulk up that offensive line. 3rd and 4 feet, it would appear, from here.
A reasonable gamble given the lead in the field position for Calgary.
And Arbuckle with the plunge has got it. Went right side behind Ryan Sevier. Second-year man out of Calgary.
Keep an eye on the right guard here, just on the other side of Nick Arbuckle. Great push.
Derek Dennis, too, at right tackle.
Arbuckle back into that short yardage role with the return of Bo Levi Mitchell. Youngster had a 4-3 record, 7 starts in Mitchell's absence.
And Milanovich leader again, getting carries here with the starting running back, Kadeem Carey, on the sidelines. And as you mentioned in the first half, they've gone through a lot of running backs this year.
Well, they certainly have. And Milanovich leader out of Simon Fraser University. Versatile guy. This is the guy that kind of did it all in high school. Fullback, running back, tight end, linebacker, defensive end, even punted for his high school team.
2nd and 5. And taking a shot for Rogers, intercepted. Tremaine Johnson brings it down in the end zone. And the Argos have their 2nd interception of the night. Well, you expect Eric Rogers to be the target down around the goal line, but Tremaine Washington there, and has his 2nd interception of the season.
Well, this is one that Bo Levi Mitchell would probably like to have back. You see, little hand fighting. Eric Rogers gets in behind the defender. Jump ball situation, given your target. We talk all the time about that catch radius. Little more air on that ball gives Eric Rogers more of an advantage, but just slightly underthrown, and Tremaine Washington gets his head around, has position, makes a play, wrestling it away from the Stampeder receiver.
So Mitchell had thrown only 3 interceptions against the Argos in the regular season, and 2 tonight. And that pass for Rod Smith incomplete. And the heat continues to be on McLeod Bethel Thompson from that Calgary front.
You saw the throw impacted that time as he was hit by Cordero Law, who's assumed the role of veteran leader on that defensive line. Seen over the last couple of years departures of Charleston Hughes, Micah Johnson,
Jagarrett Davis.
Yeah.
Got Frank Beltray and
Freddie Bishop
here in Toronto. But the beat goes on for the Stamps, 2nd and 10, and it continues with another sack. And Derek Wigan has double dipped.
He certainly has, and what a tremendous year Derek Wigan has had. Guy who went to St. Michael's High School right here in Toronto, bit of a football factory before playing his college ball at Queens. A defensive end at Queens, so a guy who had to add some weight to move to the inside. And he has really emerged this season as a terrific interior defensive lineman.
If he gets another tonight, we might have you doing an oil thought.
Never happened.
There's Pepper, who averaged 49.5 in the first half. Okay. Solpic jumped the gun. He's pointing at the Argo line. Was he drawn or not? Just going to get confirmation from upstairs.
Yeah, looking for a procedure call here.
Procedure. Toronto number 6, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So it is against the Argos, and Nakazanyeka, they'll march it back 5 more. 3rd and 26 now. And they'll need one of those big Pepper boots. This one not as deep, but gets a roll, and Terry Williams will be dropped around the 51-yard line. 47 yards after the bounce. Great field position, though, for Calgary, as the defense has chalked up 5 sacks tonight. 2 by Derek Wigan.
Well, the Toronto Argonauts defense certainly trying to do their part in handing Bo Levi Mitchell his first regular season loss against the Argonauts this year. 2 interceptions. Kenan Gilchrist and Tremaine Washington in this ball game. You can see only 3 in the first 10 games versus
quite a ratio of 25 touchdowns to 3 picks going into the game. That's been Milanovich's leader. The carry again, Kadeem Carey in the dressing room, and Terry Williams handles a lot of special teams duties, so the young guy out of Simon Fraser looks like he's going to get a lot of the football here in this second half.
Yeah, at a Notre Dame high school in the Vancouver area.
Got 5, so 2nd and 5. 49 yards rushing so far for the Stamps on the night. Here comes Argo Heat, falls away, and too far, intended for Peck, wearing Jermaine Copeland's old number 80.
Yeah. Not sure if he's got the dance moves.
And Copeland, of course, wore number 80 for both these teams and the Montreal Alouettes. And he could dance once he got to the end zone.
He certainly could. Cope, one of the all-time greats.
So the Argo defense holding the Argos in this here early in the second half. Tough field position, but another punt here from Aber. Angles this, and it's going to go outside the 15-yard line. No Rainey return. And James Franklin is going to come in now, trying to light a fire under this Argo offense. Franklin at the controls when we come back. This drive at the 17, James Franklin's in. Has not had a completion, just 1 pass since Canada Day. We'll start on the ground. James Wilder up to the 20. He has 3. First 2 starts of the year for James Franklin against Hamilton and Saskatchewan. And the last 10 in a row for McLeod Bethel Thompson.
Yeah, Bethel Thompson had looked in recent weeks like he was really kind of taking more of a firm grip of that starting job, but tough opening half tonight. And the Argos looking for a spark. Gives the ball to Franklin.
2nd and 7. Wide side. Jimmy Raff's got the catch. Steps out, but has the first down on the first completion for Team Franklin.
Well, Franklin, obviously a guy that, when he was acquired by the Toronto Argonauts prior to last season, was sort of looked at as the heir apparent to Ricky Ray. Had success in limited duty as an Edmonton Eskimo prior to that.
Slips here before unloading. Downfield. He's got Armoni Edwards. Had to come back for it. Biggest play of the game for the Argos on that deep connection from Franklin to Edwards.
Oh, watch first. See some poise from Franklin here as he slips, as he first goes to plant, but just gets those feet set and launches it. And terrific job by Armoni Edwards to go get that football. Did he get the hands underneath it?
Great catch.
Yeah.
45-yard connection. Dave Dickinson took a peek at the scoreboard and trying to get some information on whether or not that would be worth challenging. But it looked like a good catch. And Dave Dickinson's going to save it. He hasn't won a challenge yet this year.
Might be saving it for a sure thing at this point.
No, I don't think they could get that one overturned. First down. Franklin to throw over the middle. And incomplete. Almost picked off. Looked like Raheem Wilson had a shot at the football.
Yeah, nice break up there by Raheem Wilson. See him close as the ball's in the air, as Walker initially had some separation. Does a nice job to kind of slice underneath and disrupt Walker enough to break up the play.
Well, Franklin's gone to the attack early, hasn't he? 2nd and 10. Near side throw is caught. Be short of a first down at the 30. Ralph, another catch, but a quick close from Deshaun Amos. So 3rd down, and the field goal unit will come on.
Yeah, as you alluded to, Chris, certainly an aggressive start by James Franklin. Right out of the gate, he comes out slinging.
That'll be a 36-yard attempt for Tyler Carpino.
Carpino, originally a Calgary Stampeder draft choice.
Out of the hold of Jimmy Ralph. Up and good. 20-6. A 2-possession game here with just under 4 minutes left. 3rd quarter. Quarterback, let's go to the sidelines. Here's Matthew.
Yeah, CC, before that last Argos offensive series, McLeod Bethel-Thompson came, he sat on the bench, took his helmet off, and then he was told that James Franklin would be coming in. Franklin warmed up with James Wilder Jr., then had a long discussion with new Argos quarterback coach Jonathan Crompton. And there was a lot of positive energy on the sidelines, especially when S.J. Green came over to Crompton. Now, S.J. is typically very quiet, but he shouted, I can't say it verbatim, obviously, because there was a bit of adult language in there, but it amounted to, let's friggin' go, guys.
So the change of the guard here result in a change of momentum. They get a field goal on their first Franklin possession, courtesy of that big play to Armoni Edwards of 45 yards. And we're now being told that Kadeem Carey is out for the rest of the night for Calgary. And you can see Ante Milanovic leader in the backfield once again. Double tight end set, and that throw complete. Josh Huff's got a first down up beyond the 50-yard line. 3rd catch of the game for Josh Huff.
Yeah, Huff, former NFLer, getting an opportunity in this Calgary lineup. due to an injury to Markeith Ambles. The University of Oregon product making the most of it. Nice quick hitter there off play action from Mitchell to Huff working that hook route.
First down, Toronto 52. Pressure off the edge. It swung out to the near side. Here's Peck. Tracked down by Jonathan Dowling, but into Argo territory at the Toronto 50. Pickup of 8.
We talked off the top tonight, Chris, about the importance of Calgary's pass protection, how good they've been in recent weeks, and wondered a little bit of a shuffle. Ucumbre Williams making the start at left tackle. Tonight, could they maintain their performance? Williams, again, a guy who's been a center most of the last couple of seasons, has been outstanding tonight at the left tackle spot.
Dennis moves to the right side. Milanovic leader stood up. And does he have enough on 2nd and 2?
And they're going to move the sticks.
Indeed enough as they mark the ball beyond or inside the 48. One of the strange things about the Stampeders season, in their 4 losses, in each game they had a double-digit lead. They lead by 14 here, looking for their 4th consecutive win. They come back the other way. Sliced down at the 45. Good tackle there by Ian Wild.
Yeah, Stampeders are looking to create some misdirection here. Trying to sell the bubble screen to Josh Huff going out to the right. You're going to see Milanovic leader slip out for the screen. Going the other way. Shows protection, gets in behind his O-lineman. Ian Wild slices underneath the block of Shane Bergman to come up and make a play.
6 tackle for Wild. Bear Woods has 7. So the linebacking core has been active for Toronto tonight. 2nd and 7. 5 receivers out. Looking for Rogers. Incomplete. Let it out of his hands. This Argo defense has been stout in the 2nd half.
Well, this group hanging tough. Trying to find ways to get some pressure to Mitchell. Not a lot of success, but the secondary making plays.
Not going to try a 52-yard field goal. Rob Maver to punt. Chris Rainey back inside the Argo 5. Maver to the far side, and that one went out right about the 10-yard line. See where they officially spot it? Exactly at the 10. So for the 8th time this year, he's hit one there. And the Argos backed up. This is a strange coincidence. The 219 so prominent in their CFL careers. Bo Levi Mitchell just passed Conridge Holloway recently to go to number 19 on the all-time passing list. And S.J. Green 19th in receiving, and closing in on Travis Moore for 18th, and closing in on 10,000 receiving yards in the CFL. Franklin on a roll, has got to throw that away. And a late hit is going to be flagged here. So he avoids the sack, draws the flag, and Mike Rose costs Calgary 15.
Major foul, first color tackle. Roughing the passer, Calgary number 91. 15-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
Well, Mike Rose, who's been something of a presence in the Toronto Argonaut backfield throughout this ball game. Gets there again, but finds himself in a chase position. You saw the big right paw come out and grab the back of the collar of Franklin.
There's the ref view look. Pass to the sidelines. Incomplete. Darrell Walker couldn't catch up to that. So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 25. Well, the Stamps had just one sack in the first meeting back in mid-July. It's been a much different story here tonight, down there in the trenches.
And I think you're seeing this Calgary front four really round into form. You know, you heard the boys in the panel at halftime talk about the losses, the changes suffered by the Calgary D.
Franklin again slipped, got it away, but short yardage. Wilder corralled there by Nate Hawley. And that's the end of the third quarter. 14 points, Stampeder lead, heading to the fourth. Through 45 minutes here, and that bottom line on the stat sheet tells you Calgary knows how to close. And the scoreboard tells you the Argos going to need another fourth quarter like they had in Ottawa 2 weeks ago when they scored 21.
Yeah, they're going to need to find a way to make some big plays. We saw James Franklin trying to push the ball down the field. They're going to need more of that, but that also means keep an eye on that Calgary pass rush that's been so prominent so far in this football game. Now, the other challenge when you look at the time of possession in this ball game through three quarters means when Calgary gets the ball and they are looking to close the door, running the football and so on, they've got a Toronto defense that's probably already feeling some fatigue.
Yeah, it was a good quarter, though, for the Argo defense. It's been a good 3 quarters for the Calgary defensive team. I guess the one caveat about trying to run the football in the fourth quarter is they don't have Kadeem Carey to carry the mail. Pepper, and they almost blocked that one. Barry Williams on the return, and he'll get dropped by Onyeka. Sunday Night Football continues this week. Jared Goff and the Rams visit Cleveland to take on Baker Mayfield, and the Browns catch the action at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN and CTV2, Canada's home for the NFL.
We saw the Calgary fans who were in attendance tonight traveled with the Stampeders. I met some of them on the way into the stadium who are actually heading to Cleveland to catch that game from here.
Third quarter net yards, Calgary 64, Toronto 58, so the defenses did the job in that third quarter. Mitchell running out of time here, and now to the wide side of the field, and Klukas has got a catch, and bounces off for a first down, so Klukas with his first catch, and the 9th different receiver. And Dowling slow to get up, and Klukas on the limp.
Well, you heard that collision between Klukas and Dowling over in the flat. Seen Dowling's head kind of get knocked back on impact.
So they give Dowling some extra attention here, and we'll step aside.
We wondered if Bo Levi Mitchell would answer the call. Brought to you by Coors Light. He always seems to answer the call, doesn't he? 25 of 35, 250, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, but he is winning. And a quarter away from going 4-0 since coming back from injury. Back to CC and Dwayne.
Thanks, Rod. 9 different receivers for Bo Levi Mitchell tonight.
Well, and I'm somewhat intrigued by what the Argos have done in terms of replacing the injured Jonathan Dowling. One guy goes down, they made 4 changes in their secondary.
So fakes the hitch and going deep. Going for Rogers, and he dropped the ball, and we've seen Rogers do that more than once tonight, and you don't see that very often.
Yeah, another one laid in there right in stride by Bo Levi Mitchell, who seems to have found his range on the deep ball and game 4 of his return.
Looks like he had Peck deep as well. But Rogers makes that catch more than 9 out of 10 times.
Sure does.
2nd and 10. Underneath, Mayala makes a good snare. Gets up and makes sure he's got the first down. Like forward progress initially would have been enough, but Mayala made sure.
Yeah, you'll see him work back to the football here. And may have just lost the first down yardage with the diving catch, but as you said, great awareness and effort to ensure that those sticks get moved.
He's got 5 catches and at least a couple where clearly good young receiver coming back to the football to help his quarterback. First down, Argo 49. And that one shoots past Rogers, incomplete. Through traffic. Not sure if Rogers tracked that from the get-go.
Well, I mentioned earlier just the changes in the Argo secondary. When Dowling went down, he was playing the boundary corner spot. Kadarius Ford bumped from halfback to corner on the boundary side. Tremaine Washington flipped from field half to boundary half.
Second down, pressure coming over the middle. He hangs on that time. The 14th time he's been targeted tonight, Eric Rogers with his 6th catch.
Well, and you had a bit of a sense, as much as the ball was going to get spread around, that Eric Rogers would still be the guy for Bo Levi Mitchell. You mentioned those 14 targets. Rogers had one get away from him earlier, but makes a big catch in traffic here. He gets jolted by Darby.
Does a good job to hang on. 94 yards for Rogers. Close to his 3rd 100-yard receiving game of the year. First down. That one spun deep. And another off his fingertips. Incomplete. They're going to wear him out here.
Ball's in the air. Extends. He gets in behind Woodson, but unable to make that grab as he's fully extended.
Number 4 has been the target on 4 of the last 5 Mitchell passes. 2nd and 10. Mitchell's thrown 40, 15 in the direction of Eric Rogers. And this one complete. And the catch made down at the 15-yard line. That's Josh Huff. And the Calgary march continues.
Yeah. Good grab by Huff, working across the middle here. Argos dropped too deep in the middle. And Huff kind of splits them. Working that slant.
21-yard completion. First down, Calgary. At the Argo 15-yard line. Into the red zone, and they'll swing it to Big Aaron Peck. Cuts back. And Peck dragged down around the 8. Mentioned at 6'3". Listed at 249. They tell us probably not that anymore, but was when he first reported to training camp. Guy that usually plays behind Eric Rogers in practice, but replacing the injured Reggie Bagleton.
Yeah, Bagleton, the Stamps' leading receiver this season.
And the league's leading receiver at both.
That too.
Bo Levi Mitchell over 300 with that last completion. 2nd down. Reloads. Throws behind. Terry Williams incomplete, and the field goal team will come on.
Yeah, double clutch kind of caused him to miss the window of opportunity with Terry Williams here. See, Williams takes a peek. Nothing's coming. He releases. He was just opened that split second earlier. So Stamps will have to settle for a Rene Paredes field goal attempt here. But another good clock-eating drive for Calgary.
9 consecutive passes for the Stampeders. Paredes up and through. And it's beyond a 2-possession lead for Mitchell and the Stamps. As the number 15 will go up on the wall of honor. Dustin Nielsen, Glenn Suter getting set to call that one for you. Here's James Franklin getting it over the middle. And it was just tipped at the last second by Wynton McManus. There's the former Edmonton Eskimo in his glory years with a couple of cup victories in Edmonton and a couple of cup victories here, and the franchise leader in passing for not one but 2 teams, Edmonton and Toronto.
Yeah, an impressive career, no question, for Ricky Ray, but only quarterback to win 2 Grey Cups with each of 2 different teams.
100th Grey Cup in Toronto, 2017. Also against Calgary, Chris Rainey. Nice work there by Rainey to get up to the 45 and should have a first down.
Well, speaking of Ricky Ray,
most passing yards before the age of 30. Bo's got the rest of the season to cut into that.
yeah, turns 30 in the offseason in March. Don't think he's going to catch Ricky, but he'll should overtake the rifle.
First down. Franklin out of the pocket, flips it ahead, and Rainey takes off. Lowers the shoulder. That's a good collision between a couple of veterans. Brandon Smith, Chris Rainey, and out of bounds at the 54 of Toronto.
Oh, Brandon Smith. He and Jamar Wall are kind of the mainstays. This Calgary D, big lick here. Sounds like football.
Got 9 2nd and 1. And a first down sneak with authority. Close to 4 on that for James Franklin. So first down into Calgary territory. Halfway through this 4th quarter, the Argos need a touchdown to kickstart a potential comeback.
And James Franklin, in addition to trying to get the Argos back in this ball game, certainly looking to make a bid for some more playing time down the stretch.
Chris Casher down for the Stampeders. So we'll step out here with the Argos threatening here in the 4th quarter. TV, is this lead safe as it seems? Find out on this drive here for Toronto.
As the saying goes, no lead is safe in the Canadian Football League, but
Argos have lots of work to do.
yeah, it's kind of now or
over
never.
the middle. And holding on long enough was S.J. Green. Short yardage, well, medium yardage for him there. They're going to extend it to a 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4. Argos have had 4 rushing plays on the night. That's their 34th pass play. 2nd down. Franklin to the near side. Armani Edwards to catch. Brandon Smith there defensively. Should be enough for a first down. Edwards with his 5th catch of the night.
And Franklin doing a decent job moving the football since he's come into this ball game.
Again, last start was Canada Day against Saskatchewan.
The challenge, of course, is that time is the enemy of the Argonauts at this point.
First down, pass complete. Brad Smith shakes off the first would-be tackler. His first catch of the night. Down to the 33-yard line, so about 7 for Smith.
Well, Cordero Law coming on the blitz, bit of a double team there. The Argos give Calgary's most prolific pass rusher a little extra attention.
Mark Chapdelaine calling the plays. Franklin has 5 straight completions. Smith, the 8th different receiver, in the toss to Reedy, and he has the first down a little bit more, similar to the play that Terry Williams scored on in the first quarter.
May have been an element of surprise to this, as the Argos really haven't run the ball all night. And looking for misdirection towards the right of your screen. Rainey countering back to the left. Much like Williams, kind of using his speed and getting that head start going that way. And an added head start as the defense takes a false step the other way on the fake.
And 25 rushing yards till that 11-yard run. Franklin going to throw it in the end zone, and that one right through the back. Darrell Walker, closest Argo to it.
Well, now another one of those 2nd and 10s that have been a thorn in the Argonauts' side much of the evening.
And a potential decision for Corey Chamberlain. Do you get it back to a 2-possession game with a field goal if unsuccessful, or do you go for the major because you're down here deep running out of time?
Yeah, I mean, this was one of those themes we had for a stretch from a few weeks earlier in the season. And I would say most often it was proven go for the field goal.
How about get the first down? Not this time. Another sack. That's the 6th of the game. This time it's Deshaun Downey with his first CFL sack. Rookie out of UMass gets home.
Downey getting an opportunity, as we saw Chris Kasher nicked a little earlier. As Downey gets his first sack, he can ask our referee Tim Croker, what did it look like? So he had this view.
And the sack takes a little heat off the decision for Chamberlain. He'll go for the field goal here. Trapino looking to go 3 for 3, and he splits the uprights to make it a 14-point Calgary lead with 4:20 to go.
Well, pressure now shifts to the Toronto Argonaut defense. Group that's been on the field a lot, but they need to get off in a hurry here. Give their offense a chance to get 2 touchdowns on the board in the last 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
The Argo offense has been held to 178 yards by Calgary's stout defense tonight. Well, here's Mitchell on to try and put it away for Calgary. 3rd consecutive start that Mitchell's thrown at least 40 times in the game. How much time can he take off the clock? Probably doesn't need any more points, but that would seal the deal.
Interesting to see Calgary on their last drive go with 9 straight passes.
And throwing again here, but play stopped before Mitchell threw it.
Timeout, Calgary.
A timeout from the sidelines. Dave Dickinson not like the play call with the defense he had. He's upset about something.
Get it straightened out. Away they go. The way it was, Stampeders, one of their global players, Andres Salgado, who caught that pass, would have been his first of the year.
And that pass caught by Peck, had to reach back. Grab that one at the 40. And now 2nd and 4 as they mark it at the 41. And the Argo defense needs a stop right here from Bear Woods and company.
Timeout, Toronto.
Now Corey Chamberlain uses a timeout before the 3-minute warning.
Again, so often we think of a team with a lead getting late in the fourth quarter. You expect it to be that ground and pound, run the ball and wear out the defense, run the clock, and so on. But Calgary's been throwing through the second half of this fourth quarter.
No Kadeem Carey, and don't want to put too much on Terry Williams. Seen a little bit of Ante Milanovic later. It's a young injury plate Argo secondary is working against. Well, they'll go to the ground here, and they're not going to get it. Stuffed. Milanovic's leader driven back. Freddie Bishop leading the charge.
Bishop, former Stampeder, slices down off the edge, beats the block of the fullback, closes the hole.
So the Argos are going to get the ball back outside the 3-minute warning.
Yeah, Argos have gone with 2 deep returners here. As Rob Maver is such a good directional punter, they don't want to give this ball a chance to get on the ground and bounce. They want to make sure they have 2 guys to field it.
It will be Rainey at the 30. And the cover team gets the job done again. Riley Jones down there along with Nate Hawley. And we do hit the 3-minute warning. 14-point Calgary lead. And that Calgary cover team's been good tonight. Big hit there by Hawley and Riley Jones to finish off the dangerous Chris Rainey. Down by 14. Can the Argos create some late heroics? 4-man rush underneath it goes, and the catch made by Smith, who can't twist away from Nate Hawley, makes another play.
And Calgary is just going to give the Argos that underneath stuff. So you can see the defense laying off, making sure they don't give up the big play.
Smith shaken up, takes a knee. Brent Monson's group's done the job tonight, even without the leading tackler in the league, Corey Greenwood, and it must be disappointing for the Kingston product who used to play for the Argos that he couldn't make this trip.
Yeah, missing out on a trip east. But, you know, we've talked a lot about the work and the creativity and the coaching job done by a lot of the offensive coaches in the league this year to overcome the players they're missing. But how about the job Brent Monson has done with all the players that Calgary lost from their defense in the offseason?
Levi Noel with the catch. That's his first catch since the last time they played Calgary back on July 18th. It's going to be 3rd and 1, and the Argos offense obviously has to stay out.
Again, Calgary will kind of let the Argos nickel and dime their way a little bit here as time is in the Stampeders' favor.
3rd and 1 out of shotgun. They'll get the first down. Wilder spins off 2. What a run by James Wilder. He might have just sent a message that he was available to do that a little earlier tonight.
Well, that was definitely James Wilder channeling 2017.
His 4th carry of the night.
Couple of great spins, bounces off, tackles, loses a piece of the jersey, picks up that first down and then some.
19-yard run. Franklin steps up, gonna have to take off. It gets away, out of bounds. They'll mark him out at the 38-yard line. A run of 8 for James Franklin.
Out of bounds.
So 2nd and 2, playbook wide open here.
Tough to get a real read on really what Franklin has done here late in the game.
Well, here comes heat from Calgary again. And Franklin's going to run it for first down. Steps out inside the 35. Stops the clock again, but that defensive backfield not giving him much to look at downfield.
Yeah, no, they're dropping guys to make sure they don't give up anything deep, which means they're not being quite as aggressive up front as they were earlier in the ball game. Franklin having a little bit more time, whether to work from the pocket or to maneuver around and extend plays as he has.
Reminder that the Ticats and Eskimos come up following this one, and the Ricky Ray ceremony pre-game will be available on tsn.ca. Not sure who's down for Calgary. It looks like it's Jabbar Westerman.
Pretty good Brampton contingent.
It is.
For those Calgary Stampeders.
I'm sure you've got the count on the Mississaugas and the...
Well, I'll tell you what, Brampton has put so many players in the league over the last decade. Royce Metchie among them.
We'll see a couple brothers, the brothers Johnson tomorrow, playing for the BC Lions in Ottawa.
Yes, sir.
And there's Westerman making his way to the sidelines, him and his brother from Brampton. Notre Dame, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
that powerhouse back when he was in high school.
Yeah, string of Westermans through Notre Dame. Jabbar, the youngest of the three.
Ready to go here, 1st and 10. 4 receivers wide side. Franklin going to load it up. Got Walker. Touchdown. Not done yet.
They got a chance.
Funny throw from James Franklin. Darrell Walker's got his 6th touchdown of the year.
And this is the one the Calgary Stampeders were trying to avoid giving up. That deep ball, they had been playing it pretty safe, but Walker takes that hole in the middle of the field. Franklin delivers the strike, and we've got a 1-score ball game. Tyler Crapini looks to turn that 8-point deficit to 7.
And with 1:56 on the clock, is it automatic to short kick here, or can they kick long and look for a quick stop?
You know what? If their defense can make some plays, I think they can kick it deep and take a shot.
Convert good, although Roberson went up there and looked like he nearly got it. And for a finish here, 7-point game as Franklin comes off the bench to close the gap.
A nice touch on this football.
35-yard strike. It caps a 6th play. 74-yard drive in 1 minute and 2 seconds.
Yeah, with a couple of deep routes there, it pulls the safety out of the middle, giving Darrell Walker an opportunity to take that whole shot.
Well, let's see what they've got on this kickoff. As Corey McDermott's crew kick short here. And remember, Montreal in the last minute came back against Calgary to force overtime with a successful short kick. Only Colton Hunchak is back. The 11 along the line. Any chance a medium kick through that first lane?
Dribble down the middle.
He's going to kick deep. Going to send Hunchak back inside his 10. And he gets back to the 25. So 1:51 remaining. Calgary looking for first downs. The Argos looking for a 2-and-out.
Yeah, it's all on the Argonaut defense right now.
44 attempts for Mitchell tonight, his career best 50 in a game in Montreal.
A Calgary team that, again, down the stretch of this football game has favored throwing the football, which could work to the Argos' advantage should they continue in that vein, as an incompletion will stop the clock.
It's Lattimore. Double tight ends. Take the Milanovic leader. They go to Rogers, and Woodson will drive him back. Forward progress to the 32-yard line, so that's 7 for Rogers. 7th catch of the game, and gets him to 101 on the night, but on the limp a bit.
You get the feeling that Eric Rogers is never really 100%. Frightening to think what he would do if he were. Braced up left knee. Wonder if he jammed that a little bit.
There's Rogers' numbers on 16 targets tonight. Maybe the ball game, 2nd and 3, and flag comes down. And it's
Procedure, Calgary number 60. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Shane Bergman flinched. It's a big penalty against the Stamps. Argos looked like they were short a man, and now Gilchrist comes out. 2nd and 8. Mitchell's got time. He's got Hunchak open, and he'll lunge ahead for the first down. Colton Hunchak with another clutch catch, his 5th of the game.
Yeah, Hunchak does a nice job finding the hole. Argos are kind of anticipating 2nd and long. They're only going to send a 4-man rush and try and drop and take all those routes away, but Hunchak nonetheless finds a soft spot in that defense. There's a hole, sit it down. Mitchell finds him for a big, big Stampeder first down.
Letting that clock run. Milanovic leader. Trying to get outside. He'll be brought down after a pickup of maybe a couple.
He comes up hobbling a little bit.
Timeout, Toronto.
So the Argos stop the clock. Mitchell's going to have to load up another. Most pass attempts this season for the Stampeders. Barbuckle had 40 attempts in a game against Hamilton. Last 2 games, 40 attempts for Mitchell. We're anticipating his 47th pass attempt upcoming.
Yeah, 2nd and long situation. They've shifted from that big team they were using to run the ball on first down back to their base 5 receiver set.
Stamps need 8 to wrap it up. Here comes pressure. Mitchell gets it out of his hands, and guess who? It's Rogers with the big catch, which is going to seal the deal.
Eric Rogers had a couple get away from him earlier in this game, but not at crunch time. Gets inside position on the defender, Washington. Stem outside. Big body, little push off. Creates some separation. High percentage throw for the first down.
Player of the week last week, 129 yards and a touchdown against Hamilton, 119 tonight. And they go into victory formation now. Going to be 4 consecutive wins for the Stampeders. The 9th straight year that they've had at least a 4-game win streak. And a 9th win on the year to put a little heat on Winnipeg and Saskatchewan in the great race for first in the West. Working the clock right down to 1, and one more need to put this in the books. Argos unable to win 2 straight. They'll drop to 2-10. And
things got a little heated. Abdul Kenna came hard off the edge, and it seemed that a couple of Stampeders took exception to that.
Game decided, but the action not complete yet.
Yeah, the competitive juices don't shut off quite that easily.
Argos home against Saskatchewan next week. Stamps get a bye, and then they'll be in Montreal on October the 5th.
Well, the Southern Ontario versus Alberta rivalry weekend continues. Hamilton and Edmonton coming up next. 3
penalties for unnecessary roughness on the play by 19 and 85 Toronto and 14 Toronto. 19 and 85 Calgary and 14 Toronto. Go back 15 yards. It's 3rd down.
Levi Mitchell getting flagged there.
Yeah, quarterback fighting his own battles. You got the 300-pounders to do that for you.
Now Hamilton, Edmonton coming up next. Tomorrow we'll be in Ottawa for the Lions and the Red Blacks. Winnipeg in Montreal. Rob Woodson exchanging pushes at 191 with the 348-pound Derek Dennis. So he gets at least some marks for bravery.
Yes, football is not a weight class sport.
Rainey's dropped back. Mitchell's just going to air it out to kill the clock. Rainey looking for an interception, but it's safely out of bounds, and this one safely in the books for the Stampeders, who now moved to 9-4. Dave Dickinson has his 50th win as a head coach with the Calgary Stampeders. Time now for the Nissan Titan Player of the Game. It's brought to you by the Nissan Titan. It's ranked #1 in quality by J.D. Power.
Well, Calgary Stampeders would be easy to talk about who they don't have on defense, but let's talk about who they do. A defensive line led by Cordero Law, Mike Rose terrific, Derek Wigan fantastic, Chris Kasher, and all the rest of the guys in the rotation. Outstanding effort tonight getting to the Argo quarterbacks, and collectively the Calgary Stampeder defensive line is our Nissan Titan Player of the Game.
10th loss for the Argos, 23-16 the final. Ticats and Eskimos coming up next, but first, let's check back in with Rod Smith on the panel.
Thank you, CC. So the Stampeders improved to 9-4. We're going to head to Edmonton now. They're underway at Commonwealth. It's the Eskimos up against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, leading the East at 9-3. Logan Kilgore, the starting quarterback for Edmonton. Let's go.